This is what you can catch up here in Nipigon. Oh my goodness. Right after he filmed it. Oh, is this a whitefish? Oh my goodness, it was like seconds. Look at how fat this lake trout is.
Look at the color on that thing.
We talked to a local guide up here and he got us turned on to a certain color. We were using all white, but
first cast.
First cast. That thing's 6-7 pounds, but like 23 inches. Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna weigh this fish here. We have our weigh bag. I don't want to put stress on the gills, so. And it's so fat, otherwise I won't even weigh it, but I'm curious. And then I have my scale right here. Conservation is key for any fish, especially these trout. You want to take care of them. So I wet the bag before I put the fish in it, so it really doesn't hurt it. That's a 9.5 pound, we'll weigh the bag, 9.5 pound fish. Crazy, crazy fish. Cool. Back just like
Hunter's hooked up.
Hooked up.
Oh yeah, nothing big, but.
Oh! My first Nipigon Brook Trout.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Bloopers. And he's unhooked.
Well, that came off.
Look at this bad boy. Look at this. This is what you get. It's not big, but this is what you can catch up here in Nipigon. That's a 17.
Now that's awesome right
there. Me and Grant just have it on spot lock right now, and I want to talk about kind of what we're doing. So the Nipigon River, it's about 30 miles long, and you have 3 dams on it. So we've been just mainly pitching shorelines, and the reason I brought up the dams is because they're a really good spot to fish. We've caught whitefish, lake trout, pike, and then brook trout so far, and they're all near the dams. A good bait we've been using, just a Berkley power bait gulp minnow, and it's almost like you're smallmouth fishing. That's what we've kind of figured out, is you're like the guy who runs our resort that we're staying at. He put it really in a good way. He said, if brook trout could have 2 feet, one of them would be on shore. So you basically, as close as you can get it to the shoreline, and then out to about 10 feet is where they'll be, no deeper than that really. The rod I'm using is a 6'10" medium light, and super sensitive, and it helps casting. I have a 3/8 ounce jig, and it's not too light because you want something with a backbone here, because there is really big lake trout and really big brook trout here. So you want something where they're not going to control you and break you off. And then I have 10-pound test, 10-pound test braid with super clear 8-pound test monofilament or fluorocarbon, either way, just for the rocks, and they have really good eyesight.
We are going to take a quick second and talk about the resort that we stayed at. It is Nipigon River Adventures in Red Rock, Ontario. It is owned by Ray, who purchased it a little over 10 years ago. It was built in the 1920s for the executives at the mill that used to be in Red Rock. But now it is a full-service bed and breakfast. Everything included in the price will get you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And Ray also has 2 guides that work for him who are very experienced and have been on the river for many years. And right out from the resort is the bay of Lake Superior, which also has good fishing opportunities. And then you have access to 30 miles of the Nipigon River. If you have any questions about the resort, we will put down all the information for the resort in the description below. Thank you for hosting us, Nipigon River Adventures, and Ray.
Just a quick thing to go over. When you come up to Nipigon River Adventures, there's 3 different bodies of water to fish. You have the Nipigon River, Nipigon Lake, and then you have the Bay of Lake Superior. So you have a lot of different options to fish when you're targeting big brook trout, which is the main species of target up here. People come from all over the world to come up here to fish. It's one of the most world-class fisheries for brook trout when it comes to size. And if you're going for that 25-inch fish, this is the place you can do it.
Right after he filmed it. Oh, is this a whitefish?
I see the silver.
What is it? What is it?
That was in shallower though.
Brook trout. Brook trout. Get it. Get it. Yes.
Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
Got him sitting in the water right there.
I'm just gonna let him recruit. That
Wow.
was right off that current edge. That's kind of the spots we're looking for. It's hard rushing current, and then you have an eddy. And that was just on a power bait minnow. That may be a 20-incher. Yep, that's key. Grant just reminded me. Wet my hands first, both of them. Look at the size. This is my personal best brook trout. Look at that. Cool.
What's been helping us keep on these spots is our trolling motor. It's a Minn Kota Tarova. It has the advanced spot lock on it. Just because we're fishing so much current and a lot of rocks, it's easier to use this instead of using an anchor because you have a chance of losing a lot of them. And then it's more of a precise style of anchoring. Followed them right up to the boat.
Right up to the boat. Look at the color. Look at the colors.
Oh my gosh.
Second spot, we just jumped on the other side of the river. This one's not as big, but
Wow.
I'm gonna let him calm down here. That's the key with these brook trout. They just kind of flop all over the place. You gotta. I brought it up to the side of the boat, saw him, dropped it back down because I was just reeling in and I wasn't paying attention, and ate it.
We just moved from right over there, right on the slack current. About time I caught one. On the hair jig, right? We're about to leave, and pretty close to where the launch we are. We thought we'd try one more shoreline. Usually they're not as small as the ones that aren't this small, but it's not a bad thing. Shows you that they're reproducing well. I'll show you them real quick. I love the halos and the white fins on them. We're gonna get this back right away. See, and that shows you right there. Have the fish out of the water less than a minute. Do what you gotta do with it, get it back on the water. Stressing catch and release up here for trout, brook trout, lake trout, whatever it is, just to preserve this fishery because it's a trophy fishery. You're gonna get your 20 to 25 inch brook trout, it's gonna be right here. It is the end of day 2 here up at Nipigon River Adventures on the Nipigon River. We tried just below the Cameron Dam, kind of down from the bridge. If you do come up here, you'll talk to Ray, the owner, or one of the guides, and they'll go over kind of the areas that you're supposed to fish if you choose not to go with a guide. Yesterday was a learning curve for us. We had to kind of get familiar with the river. It is 8 hours from where we live, so it's a different body of water than what we're used to. So if you have any questions regarding the resort, everything will be linked below. The contact information for Ray, he is the owner. And a little later we're going to go over kind of a rundown of what the resort's about and the amenities that it has. So if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. It supports us a lot. Don't forget to subscribe, and any questions you have, just drop a comment down below.